Yeah, guys, today's video is about how to grow your property preservation business. It's not that difficult, to be honest with you. You just got to put in the hard work, plain and simple. Got to put in the hard work. Um, if you're working with a property preservation company, you want to be like their top vendor in the area that you're working in. And you want to be their top contractor in your area. And at one point, I was the top contractor in my area, and they were sending me work, and I was getting it knocked out. So to grow your property preservation business, first, if you're working with a company, what you would like, what you want to do is pick a coverage area that you know you can definitely service and maintain for them. So if they send you a work order today and it's due, and you need to submit that work order by, let's say, today is what? Today is Friday, and they say it's due on Monday. Not that if you can knock it out today, knock it out today, submit it today, because they're going to be very happy. And once they're very happy to know that they could depend on you and rely on you to knock this work out in a timely manner, it will definitely send you more work. Also, another way to increase your profit and solely grow your business is going outside your coverage area at times for the company that you work with. If they have some work outside your coverage area and they're like, hey, Mark, REO, can you guys go to this property and trim a tree? You know, even though it's not in your coverage area, you say, hey, listen, sure, I'm willing to do that if you pay me an extra outer area fee on top of the fee that you guys are paying me to get the work done. And a lot of times they would be willing to do it. They are willing to pay the extra fee to have someone go outside their coverage area and knock the work out. A lot of times I've made a lot of extra money just going outside my coverage area to knock out some work for my clients. I'm gonna give you guys an example. So I think it was maybe like 2018. Yeah, around 2018. During the grass cut season, I was cutting grass, and I had maybe like 30 or 40 properties I had to cut grass every 2 weeks. They called me like, hey, so I had two crew. I had a crew, and then myself. So seeing as it was just regular grass cut, they would call me like, hey, Mr. Bingham, we have four grass cut in Washington, D.C. I live in Philadelphia. Washington, D.C. is like 2.5 hours away or 2 hours away. And you know, it's four grass cuts. This is the price we're paying to cut the grass. We're willing to pay an outer area trip fee. So I'm like, wow, DC just took up four grass, but the grass size are pretty small. So I'm like, all right, it's not gonna take me that long, but it's every 2 weeks as well, right? So I said, okay, I'm gonna charge you guys an outer area trip fee because this is outside my coverage area. So every time I would drive down to DC, I would charge them $200. So normally when you do work, they take a percentage because they're getting you work. But the $200 was no percentage. So each time I drive on, that would be $200. So for the month, that's $400 that I would make just to drive down to DC twice, right? Once I calculated my gas and my tolls, I was profiting, I would say at least $200, right? And that's different from also the the work that I was getting done for them, those grass cuts I was completing. So that's another way for you to grow your business, working outside your coverage area and charging them a outside coverage area fee, because a lot of times they're really pressed for the work to get completed and they're willing to pay extra fees just to get it completed, and you have to be the one to ask. Another way to grow your property preservation business is working with more than one company. So when I first started, I was working with one company. Then while business business was slow with that one company, I reached out to other companies that they were in the same industry, and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm a contractor. I deal with I deal with maintaining foreclosed properties, and fill out the application, show them my business license, business insurance, and they took me on. Once they took me on, they started giving me work, and just like the first company, my original company I'm working with, I was doing the same thing, knocking out the work on time, do my best to do the best that I can when I get a job to get when I get a job that needs to get completed. And slowly but surely they started sending me extra work as well, because now they were able to rely on me. And that's one thing in the business. These companies want contractors that they can rely on. So if they could rely on you, definitely going to be pumping your work, sending you work. Another way for you to grow your property preservation business is, while you are in the field, market yourself. When I say market yourself, say I go to this property right here and I'm cutting grass, and there's a neighbor, their grass needs to be cut. It's just, hey, listen, I am such and such. This is my business name, and I provide these services, lawn maintenance. And a lot of times they were like, okay, sure. I let them know I come to this property every 2 weeks to cut grass. While I'm here, I can cut your grass as well. And some of my clients now, that's how I retain them. I gain them as clients.